Okay, so now give 1 and 2 number to this. This is okay. So now give 1 and 2 number to this. This is just like the above example. The point of differentiation you are getting from the first position. So you don't need to write 1 and 2 here because that will become 2. So this is wrong. This is correct. 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So how will you write? You will follow alphabetical order, that is 5 ethyl, 1 methyl, cyclohexene. Okay, that's the name of your compound. One more example. Okay, here again some people will number 1, 2, 3, here bromine is there, 4, 5 and 6. Some people will number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The substituents which we have in alphabetical order are bromine, chlorine, methyl, right? So in the red numbering, the locants are coming to be 6, 3 and methyl as what? As 4. In the green numbering, we are getting bromine at 3, chlorine at 6 and methyl at 5. Okay. So some of you will say that due to alphabetical order, bromo comes first. So we should assign 3 to the bromo. But then I will ask you that what about methyl? You are getting a point of differentiation at methyl. Here you are getting at 4th position, that is the lowest. Therefore, this numbering is correct and this is wrong. Okay, so what will be the name of this compound? The name of this compound will be 6 bromo, 3 chloro, 4 methyl, cyclohexene. Okay, now some of the questions I will give you. Write the name of these compounds. So these are some of the questions. Moving forward with the very first one, select the longest carbon chain, that is this one. If I start to number from the left hand side, I will be getting the double bond at 4th position. If I start from the right hand side, I will be getting the double bond at 4th position. But from the right hand side, I am also getting bromine and methyl, bromine, ethyl and methyl at the lowest. But moving forward, here if I number from the left hand side, I will be getting the double bond at 4th position, and from the right hand side I will be again getting the double bond at 4th position. So if I number from the left hand side, first of all at the 2nd position I will get methyl, at the 5th I will get ethyl and at the 6th I will get bromo. If I start from the right hand side, I will get 2nd bromo at 2nd, ethyl at 4th and methyl at 6th. So this becomes the point of difference and this is the correct numbering. So I will start to number it from the right hand side. Okay, this is actually 7 here, correct it. So it will be 2 bromo, okay, 4 ethyl, 7 methyl, 8 is what? 8 is known with the name of oct. At fourth position there is double bond, therefore I have written oct 4ene. I was running short of space at this page, therefore I wrote it here, but you know that it is a single name. Now for this compound I will number it as 1 2. I have started because I was getting methyl at this position, so it will become 1 methyl cyclohexene. Here in the second example I will give 1. Remember, some of you will do what? You will write 2 here and 3 here, and you will give the justification that here we are getting the double bond at the lowest position, that is 1 and 3. But this is wrong, because due to IUPAC we have to number 1 and 2 in sequence. Then it will become 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the name will be cyclohexa. Now here we will be using A here because there is no problem of vowels. 1,4 diene, right? That's the name. Discussing for the second example, here you will give one position to this. We have already discussed a similar example just like this of the chlorine, so I think I don't need to repeat here that I don't need to repeat the point here that why I am not giving first number to this carbon, because you know lowest locant rule, that is at the first position I am getting methyl. 3, 4, 5. So the name will be 1,5 dimethyl cyclopentene. Okay, that's the name of our compound. Now I will discuss some compounds whose systemic name is, you will answer me through IUPAC, and common name I will tell you that is prevalent in our organic chemistry, and you can encounter these common names when you will be reading different organic books. So the very first compound is CH2 double bond CH2. According to IUPAC you will write the name as ethene, you know why. But the common name for this compound which is prevalent is ethylene, right? The second compound is CH3 CH double bond CH2. It is propene, the IUPAC name, okay, but the common name which is famous is propylene. Discussing for the third example, that is CH3 CH3 double bond CH2. According to the IUPAC you can tell me that this will be the longest carbon chain. Here you will start the numbering and you will get IUPAC name as 2-methyl propene, but the common name which is famous is isobutylene. These questions can come in the multiple choice questions asking that write the or you can say tick the correct IUPAC name of isobutylene. Okay, this question can come just like this. The fourth one is CH2 double bond CH3 CH double bond CH2. Now you know that will be the carbon chain having the greatest carbon numbers. This will be the correct numbering, you know why, and the name will be 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, and the common name for this is isoprene. Okay, that was the whole compound, but there are some substituent also which have a different systemic name, or you can say IUPAC name, but the common names are very different. There is a group that is CH. The systemic name is ethinyl. Okay, that's the IUPAC name, and the common name that is famous is vinyl. Okay, next is CH2 double bond CH CH2. Okay, the IUPAC name for this is 2-propenyl. Why 2-propenyl? Because this is the substituent. We know that the carbon which is directly attached to the parent hydrocarbon gets its first number as this. Therefore, the IUPAC name is 2-propenyl. These are actually substituents. And the common name that is famous is allyl. Simply, there is a compound that is CH3CH double bond CH. So, the IUPAC name will be prop 1-enyl. Okay, that will be the IUPAC name. Its common name, tell me, it has not a popular common name. I was just telling you it in the series of prop 2-enyl. Okay. In some cases, a group containing an alkene may need to be treated as a substituent, right? Therefore, I was discussing these examples.
In crowded classes, these gaps go unnoticed. With one-to-one mentoring, chemistry becomes logical, and real improvement begins.